Hey there, Nick Janatakis here. In this video, we're going to go over the motions of updating and maintaining an open source project. Specifically, we're going to go over updating package and service dependencies for all of my example Dockerized applications for Flask, Django, Rails, Phoenix, Node, and Play. So the takeaway of this video is probably going to be a little bit different for everyone. This is going to be a style of video where it's kind of just like working in public or, live coding along, except technically it's not going to be live streamed because, I'll cut out the boring parts like waiting for Docker images to build. But we are going to tackle all sorts of different things here, like, tmux workflows, git commits, writing changelogs, figuring out maybe tools that you can write to help optimize your own workflows, and maybe tweeting out the end result when it's all done. So then you can apply this back to whatever you're doing, right? Open source worked, maybe you're working for a company, it doesn't really matter. So, let me know in the comments below what your takeaways were. So yeah, let's get started here. So the only thing I did prepare, by the way, is I ran this DEAU script, which is a video I've done in the past, by the way. This script is something that I just helped me automate the ability to find the outdated packages for all these projects. I didn't want to run this one live because it does take like 5 minutes to finish and there's really no value in seeing that run. But, I have a whole video on that one. It's going to be a link to that in the card. But yeah, so the goal here for me is to basically go through all this output and update all these package dependencies from, this version here to the latest one. And this happens to be the Flask application, but, we're going to handle it for all of them. So first thing I typically do is I'll just open up a whole bunch of different tmux windows. So I have 6 example apps. So I'm going to open up 6 windows here. And, I actually did do this once before and I saved it out to a tmux session, but since we're doing this project live, then, I'm not going to just load up that session. So I just want to show you what it's like from beginning to end to kind of get all this stuff set up. So the idea here for me now is to go to each one of these different directories. So I'm going to go to the Rails one next. The ordering isn't super important. Sometimes I click the mouse, sometimes I use a hotkey. For me, hitting ~6 or whatever is a little bit far. So I tend to use the mouse for these later numbers here. But where am I going here? So that's Node one, was at the Rails, Node, Phoenix, I guess will be the next one. Docker Phoenix. These are all just the local paths, by the way, on my dev box in my source GitHub directory. And the last one's Play, which is good. So we have Play, we have Phoenix, we have Node, Rails, Django, and Flask. So, when I actually save this session, normally, I actually went the extra step here too to even rename these windows to something else. So if you're using my dot files, you can just hit tilde comma, which is going to rename this window. Like I can rename that to Flask. I can do it for the next one here and just rename this to Django. I'm not going to bother doing it for all the other ones because I'm going to blow this session out anyways at the end. But I would continue to repeat that just so I have the names here. It just makes it a little bit easier to see where I am without having to explicitly click into a specific tab or hotkey to it, right? It doesn't really matter. So now that I have all of this set up, now it is time to open Vim here. So I'd open Vim in all every single one of these, and then keep going. There's the last one. I missed 6 because that's a little bit hard one to see there. Whatever, let me just click the mouse because it's a little bit easier. There we go. So Vim is open in all of them. Now the next step is okay, cool. So I'm dealing with the Flask application. We're dealing with the requirements at text file. I need to take all these versions here and convert them to that. So I'm just going to copy this whole entire output here. It's a little bit annoying, by the way, using the Yank plugin with tmux. It always jumps me down to the bottom after doing the copy. That's something I may actually change in the future. But yeah, so I'm going to go to my requirements at text file here. Then I'll probably just, maybe I'll v-split it just so it's a little bit easier to see 2 things at once. Then I'm just gonna, go down here, temporarily put some stuff there. I guess the v-split wasn't super necessary because I was thinking I'll operate on the left side while I'll just look at stuff on the right-hand side. But, again, this is just temporary output. But the idea here is okay, cool, Celery 5.10, where do we need to go here? Change that to be 5.11. Again, I'm not gonna point out each one, but I'm looking at left column and then looking at right column. So the click one, we can skip that one, not super important. Likewise with pip, also not important. Prompt toolkit, that must be something dependent on something else. Yeah, that's not something, it's not defined here in the requirements file, it's in the lock file, so we don't need to deal with that one. PsychoPT2, 2.91, where is that one? Over here. So 2.91, okay, great. Then we have setup tools, also don't need to worry about that. That's just a built into Python thing. So we have SQL Alchemy, so 1.4.18 is what we need to change that one to. And sometimes I'll use the mouse, sometimes I'll click, in that case, I actually hit R in Vim to just replace the character under that. So I just replaced I basically hit R to replace the 7 with an 8. So the next one, SQL Alchemy Utils, that's going to be this one. Again, I'll just do R and then 7 to replace that. Great. So we are done with that. So, we just updated 4 dependencies. Now we actually technically need to rebuild the Docker image to have all that stuff take effect. So now I am going to actually kill this vsplit here, and I'll just open up another tmux pane here below. Notice how I didn't open up like a new window for this one, but I also need to go back into the Docker Flask example. And now I could technically rebuild my dependencies here on the back end. So I had this run script set up to where I can just run a pip3 install here, that number 10. So I'll run pip3 install, and this is going to take, I don't know, a couple minutes, right? But I'm not going to cut the video now because typically I wouldn't just sit here blocked. Like my whole life isn't stopped now where I'm just waiting for this to build. No, I'm going to go back to here and now do the same thing for the front end dependencies. So this one, I'm going to copy a whole bunch of them there. Go back to the Flask app. The front-end dependencies are in the package.json file, by the way. I'm just going to minimize this a little bit here. Technically, I could do, tilde-z there to zoom in, to zoom out if I wanted to get a full screen view, because it's not super important to see all this stuff flying on the bottom. But yeah, now it is time to update all of these dependencies. So this one, I think I will v-split because there's just so many of them. So I'll just have this on the right. And yeah, that's going to look terrible. So actually, let me do a split here instead of a v-split. Normally I'm not zoomed in this much, right? So normally I'd have a way easier time dealing with this because the font size would be so much smaller. I can have things like way more side by side. But yeah, okay. So we have Babel core. Great. That needs to be updated to for 16 there. What about the other ones? So sometimes, I don't just read them one by one, right? So we have core, preset env, and register. These are kind of all grouped together, right? So this one is going to be updated to 14.5, 14.5. So we just need to change this one to this one, 14, and then that's going to be a 5, right? Yep. And then this one also is going to be a 5. Cool. So that's 3 of them down. Great. Get rid of them just so they're not in the way. And so auto prefixer is next. That's going to get replaced to a 6. Copy Webpack plugin. Okay, cool. 8.11. Well, that's jumping to 9. A little afraid of that one. I wonder if that is going to introduce a breaking change where I may need to actually update the Webpack config. I literally have no idea. So CSS loader is going to be 526. Cool. That's that one. So we got nail, yeah, auto prefixer done. So that's 3 of them. CSS minimizer plugin. Okay, great. That is going to be 3.01. Also a little bit scared of that one, jumping from 2 to 3. And by the way, I'm not going to literally repeat this for all the other ones. So fortunately for all the other example applications, except for the Rails one, I can just copy paste this entire package.json file because it's the same Webpack configuration all over. So that is going to be much faster. But yes, now we need to do 6.1. Whoops. Yep, there we go. And then next one on the list here is post CSS. And of course, I'm going to delete these lines at the end here. This one is, all right, so to 8.3.5. Great. And you can see too, this finished here, building on the bottom. So our backend dependencies are all good to go. Normally, I could technically have just waited to do anything else and then do the git commit, do the changelog update, but you'll see why I didn't do that immediately. Yeah, I'm usually pretty optimistic with those things. I'll write my commit and update the changelog as if they actually worked. And then I'll do my test later, and then most of the time the test will pass and I don't need to change anything. But, if I need to go back and amend a commit to make a fix, that's also fine. But we'll see. Okay, so where am I at? Yeah, post CSS import is 14.02. These are very minor updates, right? I don't know why I put 4 there. Okay, so up here, post CSS loader 6.1. Wow, that's a huge update. So yeah, that's probably going to start breaking things, but maybe not. You never know with the JavaScript ecosystem. Then we are dealing with Tailwind. Yeah, and this is the main reason why I wanted to even do this video. It's because Tailwind 2.2 came out, and I try to keep updated. It's interesting too because 2.20, I'm pretty sure that just came out June 17th or 16th or something, and it's the 18th right now when I'm recording this video, and it's already up to the 0.2. So I wonder what the differences there were. You can always check out their changelog, but okay. So we have this here, Webpack CLI 4.72, and then what do we have here? Merge. Okay, 4.8. So yeah, there, 4.80, great. So now we can get rid of all these lines here, and then we can do this and save the file, and we will kill this split here because we technically don't need it. But we can see we updated a lot of dependencies here. But now I need to rerun basically the same thing as before, except this time instead of running a pip3 install, we're going to run a yarn install, which is going to install things. And if you're curious about what does this actual install command do, yeah, I guess while that's running, I can just jump into this run script here and just go to the yarn one. It actually just runs a Webpack yarn install. And, I've actually done a whole entire video on this one, by the way, too, replacing a makes file with a shell script. So I don't want to get into the gory details of all of that. But yeah, basically it is going to generate a lock file on disk and build a new image, and life is going to be good, and we can commit things to version control. So yeah, but while this is building, let me just start updating the changelog because that is also going to be a part of this commit here. And this is actually probably one of the most annoying parts of this because I go in here and most of these packages, I'll be oh, well, we just updated from this other version to the other version. So it requires me to go to my requirements.txt file, and I'll have to open that in a split below, just so it's a little bit easier to read. And what did we actually update? SQL Alchemy, I know that got updated. We can also see in the gutter here, I'm using, I think this one is like Vim Signal is the plugin. It was way more efficient than the other one that just shows like the get changes there. But yeah, this one changed from 14.17 or 4.17, whatever. Wait, was that the right one? Yes, it is. Okay, to 18. Great, that got changed. SQL Alchemy, this one got changed from, I guess it was 6, yeah, to 7. Yep, my brain just malfunctioned for a second there. It's all good now though, I think, maybe. Okay, so psychopg2, that one also needs to be included here. So I will do psychopg2. That's also, I have another video about this. Like it knew to pick up this from the other buffer thanks to an autocomplete thing that I have set up with Vim. But yeah, okay, so this one is actually going to be updating from, I don't know, 2.90 to 2.91. I'll have to like look at the git log to actually see what that actually was previously. In fact, it may just be easier for me to go here and then I'll look in the requirements.txt. And what did I actually have for psychopg2? So 2.86 is what we had previously. So let me go back here and that's actually going to be 2.86. Funny enough, I actually also do have another video. I feel like I'm just like spamming you with, by the way, I have another video, but you know, creating a changelog like this, like from keep a changelog, I've got all of this set up here in another video. Cool. Okay. So anyways, yeah, we changed all those. Celery also got an update. So whatever, it might just be faster for me to say update celery from, I think that was 5.10 to, whoops, to, what was it? 5.11, right? Yeah. Like 99% sure on that one, basically. Let's see. Yeah, that was 5.10. Okay, cool. I'll make this a little bit bigger. Yes, so now we are done with the changelog for updating the backend dependencies. But I don't want to do like all the front-end dependency stuff in here too, and I'm not going to write them out individually. Normally I just say like update, you know, front-end dependencies to latest versions, because honestly, it's tedious as hell to do this. Like, and I guess there is like a hidden takeaway there too. Like you have to, I'm not saying you need to be lazy for the sake of like not doing work, but if you're doing things that you don't enjoy continuously, then you're just not going to do it, right? And for me, writing this part is stupid. Like it's not stupid like, oh, it's not worth it, but I hate it. I hate it and I don't know how to automate it. Well, it's not, I don't know how to automate it. Like I could probably maybe do some crazy script that looks at like the previous state to the new state and writes a one-liner. Like, I don't know, maybe that is something I do, but like this is open source work. Like it should be fun. Like I don't want to have to spend 3 days writing that script for that purpose only. Like maybe I do though, because it is technically fun writing that script. I'll admit that would be fun. But yeah, okay. So where are we at here? Now we are at basically the point in time where I can at least commit the backend code. So I'm actually going to zoom into here, clear this, so just so we have something to see here. You know, if I do a git log here, we can see, yeah, it didn't commit anything. I meant to do a git status, by the way. But yes, we want to basically update the requirements.txt file, the lock file that was generated, which by the way is due to another script I wrote. Maybe I'll have to do another video about that one separately. Don't want to introduce that in this video. It's going to be too much. And then also the changelog, but we're going to ignore the asset updates. So I will do a git add p here on the changelog as well as both requirements files. So then I can be like, okay, cool. Yep, we did all of those updates, right? From this version to the new version. That looks about right. And then, yep, we updated celery there. And it's even nicer now too, because, you know, I'm like, about right? No, like we know for sure, because look, celery 5.10, we can see it changed to 5.11. There it is. And then for psychopg2, 2.86, yep, that's the one, to 2.91. And then, yes, so we want that. SQL Alchemy, those I know I'm right because, yeah, I just looked at them a second ago. And then, yeah, celery, there it is. And by the way, this is like the other requirements file, not the lock file, right? That's why we see the stuff duplicated twice. But now if we do a git status, then we should have everything that we want to actually make our commit. But before I make the commit, let me just see, how did I update some of this stuff? Yeah, so the commit message style I do was basically just like update a few Python dependencies. Now, I thought about going down the route of like, well, should I make a separate commit for every single one? No, it's just going to be too much effort. Yeah, I don't like that. So now update a few Python dependencies. Oh, I need to put in, all right, there we go. Password entered successfully. Yeah, it's a long one. So, nice. So now it's time to do the front end updates, basically making that get commit message. Then I'm actually going to run everything locally and test it, see if it all works, push it up and move on to the next one. So let's see where we're at here. what am I doing? I am doing a get status, and then we're doing a get add p on everything because all we have is 2 things left. And technically probably should just do it on the assets package.json. I'm not going to go through the yarn lock file because it's going to be like a million changes there, and it's just not important to go through all of them because yeah, we are going to be adding all of them. So yes, you have all of that there. Cool. But what are we doing also? I feel like I'm missing something. Yes, the changelog. Okay, so let me go back to here, and then we will go and I'm just going to add something like update all front end dependencies to their latest versions. Notice too, like this is actually part of an unreleased thing here because, I've got previous versions. Like for example, all of these updates were done, and that's 0.0 or 0.6 here from a couple of weeks ago. But I haven't released a new version yet. But honestly, for something like this, where, it's just like code sitting in a Git repo, releases aren't that important, right? Like the master branch is always at least going to be having all passing tests and work and stuff. But yeah, if you want to just be a little bit more safe, right, you can stick to the latest release. But sometimes, I cut releases arbitrarily for this, right? I'm not just sitting here like waiting to like cut a number or something. It's like, I just look at the changelog basically, and I'm like, well, I updated a lot of things. Like maybe I'm jumping to like a new version of Python or something like that, and some other stuff. Yeah, sure. Maybe we'll just update a new release. For this one, yeah, you can see there were a number of updates. Okay, so we got all that. Great. Now it is actually time to take a look at my Git log here. I'm just looking for another way that I maybe wrote like update a few node dependencies. Well, I guess I didn't. No, update a few various whatever. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to go get status here and also add that changelog, which is basically update all front-end dependencies to their latest versions. I'm saying that out loud because I think it's really important to proofread work. And for me, when it comes to just like, is the grammar right or spelling or whatever, just reading it out loud tends to help me a lot. So now let's do a git commit, and we'll just go with, actually I'm going to match the style of the other one. Update a few Python dependencies. So git commit, update a few node dependencies. Yep, there we go. Although that's maybe not all that I want to update. We want to maybe update services as well, right? We're talking like Postgres and Redis and things like that. So if I jump over to my compose YAML file, we can see that we are using Postgres 13.3, and then also for Redis, that is 6.24. I don't know if those are the latest versions, but maybe they are. So let me just do a search for Postgres here. Dtag Postgres. No? Why isn't dtag a thing? Oh, dtags. So I've actually made a blog post about this one. I don't know if I made a video about it, to be honest. I'll leave a card if I did. But this basically just searches the Docker Hub for a specific image, and it just lists out all the available tags. So for Postgres, what are we doing? Let's do lines that start with 13. And we can see that, yeah, 13.3 is the latest one. So now I'm going to do the same thing here for Redis. And well, it's not going to be 13, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be lines that start with at least 6, maybe. Okay, 6.24 looks to be the latest one because this thing is sorted correctly there. So 6.24, great. So good news is I don't need to update Redis or Postgres, but do I need to update Python? Well, let's see. So I'm going to go to my Docker file, do a search for Python. I am using 3.92. This one, I think there is a newer version. I don't think 3.10 is scheduled to release until late 2021, like October, November. I have no idea, but I don't think it's out yet. But let's see what we're looking at here. Python dtags, and then probably going to grep for slim because I know there's like a million other ones. 3.95, okay, fine. Let's update it. And then I'll go to the changelog and I'll just put this one here. Again, like I'm not paying super close attention to ordering of things, but in my opinion, I kind of feel like, update Python from 3.92 to 3.95. Like to me, updating Python versions probably as important, at least to services, and then dependencies go after. But I look at this too, and it's not like, oh no, this is like an irreversible thing, but I would have liked to see maybe just using basically the actual package name like this and put them in like a code thing, markdown syntax for it to be highlighted as a code snippet instead of like just literally writing like Alembic like that, because yeah, now it's like ambiguous. Is that a service name or is that a package name? Like you don't know. But if I put them in ticks here, then yeah, that would work. But I think there's another update too here for the README, because if I do a search for like 392, yeah, because in the README file, I like to say like the latest versions of the main things that are being used. Like for example, yeah, we're using like, Flask 2.10 and 3.95. And actually come to think of it, is 2.10 the latest version of Flask? Yeah, I guess it is. It would have came up in the outdated command, but for some reason I thought 2.02 was out, maybe not. But yeah, let me go to here and then, yeah, update that to that, to that. That is not good. What happened here? Oh, did I just forget completely to commit? In this commit here, adding a few node dependencies, I actually forgot to commit that lock file, didn't I? Yeah, okay. So we're going to have to restore staged on the changelog and the Docker file and the README file. And now if we do a get status, then they're on, they're no longer staged. And the reason I knew that command, it's like literally right here, right? So it's like use, get restore, blah, 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 to unstage the files, and that's what we want. But we will have to do an amendment here to one of these commits. So if I just do add assets yarn lock, then we can see here, I can just do get commit amend, no edit, because we don't want to change the message. And by the way, I did a whole video about doing git commits and amends. How long are we doing, by the way? Holy crap, 21 minutes, and we're not even to like the second one. Oh, this is going to be a long one, but I'm going to do my best to like power through all of this, but okay. Yeah, so now if I do a get log, we can see update a few node dependencies. If I really wanted to look at this very, very, very fast, we can show here, we can see that the lock file, the yarn lock file is there. So great. So now if we do a get status, then we're going to just do a get IP there. Yep. Updating Python. Cool. Thanks. Update Python to 3.95. I don't care about putting like the from in there in the get commit message. But now it's at the point where like technically I could push this to GitHub, and then CI is going to pop in, run some tests, do its thing. But I do not want to leave the master branch in a state of where it can be actually totally busted. And we technically don't know if any of this works. And of course I need to rebuild locally, by the way, for updating Python. But yeah, so typically what I do is once I'm done making all these git commits and all these changes, I'll do something like this where I build the image and then I'm going to up it and then go to it in a browser. And if it works correctly and all the tests pass, then I am going to actually push it up to GitHub. But like before, I'm sort of kind of not going to sit here and just like wait for this to do its thing and do nothing. So while this is typically running, I'll just jump to the next one. So now it's time to do what we just did again, but for Django. But if I go back down here to the output for Django, what do we need to do? Well, we need to scroll up and find the Django stuff. And it looks like, since it's another Python project, it's kind of sort of similar to what the Flask one was, just slightly different libraries. But we still are using Celery there. So click also not important, PG, psychopg2. That's going to be this one. Okay, great. That's done. Cool. So that is done. How are we doing with Flask? Okay, almost done. Yeah, so changelog. I'm actually going to open that one below me. So it looks like in this case, like I just made a release not too long ago. So in this case, instead of having nothing yet, I'm actually going to remove this line and actually add changed. And then we're going to just steal a line from like down here or something, right? So, well, we know we're going to do the Python update again, but what are we doing also? So we'll do update Celery. Yep, I'll just bring that one over here. What am I doing? There we go. Whoop. And then this is going to be 5.10 to 5.11. And now we have Celery updated. The next one is going to be psychopg2. Actually, I should probably just snipe it from this changelog here. There we go, a little bit faster. There we go. And yeah, it's going to be down here. Cool. And what else? That's it. So this is basically ready to be commit, like, update various Python dependencies or something like that. So let me close this window. Then I'll split below here, go back to the Django directory because it's opening up in the play directory because that is the directory I had opened when I made this tmux session. Should have probably been one directory back to make it a little bit faster, but it's not really too big of a deal. I'm not going to sweat stuff like that. But yeah, now it's like, okay, cool. Well, actually, no, it's not quite cool yet because I need to run that pip3 install command to generate the lock file. Aha. Okay, so pip3 install, it's going to generate this one. These images can build in parallel, the Django one and the Flask one. It's not really a big deal if it doesn't. But okay, so I'm going to zoom in here. Let's run a Docker Compose up. And then I'll open up another window here, go to the Flask one. Starting to get a little bit small with this font size, but we can see the web application at least ran successfully. So I didn't really anticipate that not running. It's the assets that I'm a little bit more concerned about. But if I go here, I'll have to start blurring some history maybe. Yeah, but here's the Flask application. Everything is all loading here. That's the Flask debug toolbar, by the way, part of a library, not something like I explicitly developed for this project. But yes, it looks like everything is working there in terms of like the page loads, all the assets load, great. So what if I do run Flask test, or is it just test, or PyTest even? Sometimes it gets confusing because yeah, I just have like 100 million different projects. So yeah, it's just PyTest. Yep, so I'm gonna run that. That's gonna hit a couple different endpoints, the homepage, as well as the health page, or the health check, like up endpoints. But we can see we have 2 passing tests there. I am pretty confident that that is all good to go. I mean, technically I can rebuild this image with production mode to make sure all the assets still work in, you know what, I should do that, because when it comes to Webpack, there's like the dev container that is running, but there's also like building your production assets that are going to be fully minified, and also they're going to get digested using a Flask extension I wrote. Like, it is totally worth it to do that here. I'm only going to do it once for this one, because if it works here, then all the Webpack stuff is going to work for the other ones. So, but what does that actually mean? So what am I actually doing? I am taking the dev version of this and I'm going to rebuild it in production version. So yeah, that begins with 1, we're not going to be running this Webpack watcher anymore. And if you're not familiar with any of this stuff, my DockerCon video went into all sorts of different patterns about this application. I'll link that one in a card as well. I put that one out a couple weeks ago. You may have seen it. But yeah, so the override file is not going to run. Why? Because this has Webpack in there. Don't want to run Webpack. But now we need to go to the env file and make some changes here, because we don't want to run things in development anymore. And also, if you want to get real picky, at the very bottom of the file here, technically don't want to volume out everything. You just want to volume out the public directory, which actually has the assets here. I know that's like probably super fast if you're not familiar with the stuff, but like, long story short, now this is in position to be run in production mode instead of development mode. So now all I have to do is rebuild my Docker Compose here, and yeah, it's going to run Flask in production mode. It's going to build, you can see here too, like this one step now just took a little bit longer because it's going to be developing, or sorry, it's going to be creating Webpack assets here in production mode if things were done correctly, which I think they were. But this is actually going to take, well, actually, you know what, that did not finish in an amount of time that I thought it would have. Like, why is it not? Did I miss something like super obvious? Because it still feels like it's running in development mode, because we can see this one layer here, this cached 9 for 9. Like, this should have fired and then this command should have ran, but I feel like it didn't. So why exactly? We're going to find out live, because why not? What did I do wrong? So I don't have these exported out, but that's totally normal, because if I go to my compose YAML file here, and we jump to the top, like, they default to production if you don't have them set. So there's no reason to explicitly set them. But let me go back to here. Yeah. What did I, like, the file is totally saved, right? Why did that build so fast? I'm in the Flask example. Yes, I am. Let's rebuild again. Let's just see what happens. Yeah, that's still coasting right through it. There's no way that's running in production mode though. But, I will do a compose up just to see, because maybe there was like, well, I could also like the orphan thing there, because I should have did a Docker compose down first, but it technically doesn't matter. But maybe these assets were just built in the same way before and they were cached. But we can see, yeah, I mean, it is in production mode. And if I view source here, I mean, yeah, these are all digested files correctly. Like purge CSS is working with Tailwind. These aren't digested because those are like fave icons, not important. But yeah, technically everything is working. Awesome. So we know the new Webpack setup is good to go. So now what I would do is undo these changes here, because I actually do want to run it in development. What else? This needs to be renamed, because this file typically wouldn't be in version control in production. But now I'm going to rebuild. Not super important to rebuild right now in video, but now we're back to development mode. And that should run pretty fast anyways. Yeah, and the reason why this still was cached before, it's because the assets, I guess, never changed. So the build cache still had that previous layer, even though we used different dependencies to build them. Like, the end result was the same. So yeah, it didn't need to do any extra work. That's my guess on that one. But what are we at here? Git status, there's nothing commit, right? Good. So if everything is actually working, I can git push origin main. Do I want to push this? Because sometimes I not second guess myself, but like, is that everything that I want to push and include? I mean, it's not a big deal to push it again. I guess it is. Okay. So now, yes, if I go to here, CI is going to get busy and start doing its thing. And it's probably going to take like, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes for this thing to run, but we can see here too, that's all part of this one, 3 new commits here, right? Updating a couple Python, node dependencies, as well as Python itself. Technically could probably update node too, but I'm not too super concerned about keeping that on the bleeding edge because it's basically for the Webpack setup. But yeah, what am I doing? Okay, now we are done with the Flask one. We're at half an hour already. Great. Yeah, Django. So what am I doing? I am doing a get status because what do? We just updated all those things, update Python dependencies, right? So if I do a get log, then we can take a look here at the wordage that I used, right? Was update a few Python dependencies. Why not copy paste it? Because I did that, right? There, so changed, we going from nothing yet to actually changed. What are we doing? We're changing these to these. Great, that works good. Actually, did I run, yeah, I did run the compose build here. Yeah, because they could run in parallel, right? Cool. So we have them running there. That's that good. Now I'm gonna do, actually, what am I doing? Need to do a git commit m here, and we'll just add some quotes there. Great. Nice. So now it is time to do the same thing that we did for the front end, but this time around, we are going to be able to just take this whole entire package.json file. I'm going to go and copy this whole thing, bring it down here to Django. Yep. And replace the whole thing. And we're probably going to get a million exclamation points because, yeah, we just updated everything, right? And now that we have all of these updates here, then I can run using a very similar run script. I can just do run yarn install, which is going to regenerate a new yarn lock file, just like we saw before. But this time around, it's going to be for Django. And this time around, it is looking like it is failing. What doesn't it like? Oh, okay. So sure. I don't know how that got in the middle of there, but yeah, can't really just have a floating string in the middle of a package dependency. And that ended up being in here too somehow. Literally no idea. But yeah, that wasn't commit or anything. That was just a new change. But once we have this set up, well, while it's doing this thing, right, we can go to the changelog, and then we can do, update all Webpack related dependencies to their latest versions. Let's actually add that down to here. That's going to eventually be part of this next commit once this finishes building, because we'll get the new lock file. I mean, to save time, technically, what I could have done is, there is the lock file here, like in the assets directory. I could have copied literally like, CP package.json, and then also copied the yarn lock file, the yarn lock file, like over here directly. But, I do actually want to see this thing build. So, yeah, once this is done, then the other change was what? That was going to the Docker file and then changing Python to be 3.95. Oh, cool. It's already been updated because, yeah, I feel like I did an update to this a little bit later, like a couple of days ago, instead of the Flask one, was just a little bit more out of date, but not a big deal. But yeah, this one should already be set up also for Postgres 13.3, as well as Redis 6.24. And I think we're getting close here to the end of, yeah. So now it's just going to run everything, very quickly generate a new yarn lock file in 5 seconds there, and we're done. So now if I do a get status, I can do get add a on this one. There's a changelog, update all Webpack related dependencies to the latest versions. Yep. But we need to also do a get add because we have different files here. Wait, changes not staged for commit. Why didn't the get add p add that? It's not like they're new files. What happened here? So, assets, package.json. I don't get it. Wait, oh, did I just do add p on the changelog before? Yeah, I must have just did that. Okay, stupid me. But I'm not gonna like sit through and hit yes to like 15 million different entries there because we just did it before. So I'm just gonna do a get add a here, which is gonna add everything. And then we have the get status here. And then we can do our update various front-end dependencies, whatever, update a few node dependencies is good. There we go. Get commit m, update a few node dependencies. Great. So we have everything updated here. This one's actually ready to roll, I think, because we don't need to update Python and like rebuild things. So if I just do a compose up here, as long as I'm not running anything here, which I'm not, then this should all load up. And if I go to reload the page now, because it's going to be Django instead of Flask, right? We're in debug true, everything is good there. Latest versions of Django and Python, everything is all good. So I'm not going to rebuild this one for production because like we know it's all good. So 2 down. You can see how much faster that was from before. But now if I do a get push origin main, that is going to push it up there. How are we doing on the Flask one? Did everything pass there? Nice, we got the green check mark, a little bit small, but it is all there. And then, yeah. So there are some pending issues, by the way, but these aren't related to like updates, like updating package dependencies. But I am on the ball with those, like I'm just not letting them like pile up. But okay, the Rails one is next. The Rails one is the least similar to all of them because it has like its own version of Webpack. So I'm actually going to throw this one at the end of the queue here, and we'll just go for the Phoenix one next. So what are we doing? Okay, so we actually, now I'm going to keep the Flask one open, why not? Yeah, so now I'm going to scroll up here and go to the Phoenix one. So Phoenix, right here, how are we doing with mixed dependencies? So up to date for all of them except for Floki here. I don't think that's a top level dependency though, is it? That's a good question. So let me go here. That's the Rails one. That's the Node one. Phoenix was 6, wasn't it? Yep. So if I open up my mix.exs here or whatever, yeah, no, I guess it isn't here. Okay. But it's grabbing the latest one. But I feel like that was like put in here specifically by Phoenix itself. So it's been a little bit since I've done some Elixir and Phoenix work. I don't even remember what this library does, to be honest, but I guess I need to rebuild my dependencies. Well, why does it say that there's something newer? Oh, is it just like something greater than 2.7, right? So let me go back to here. Yeah, 3.1. Okay. So that one is going to be 3.1. Great. Done. And yeah, I'll open up a new window here. Why not? And we'll go to Phoenix, Docker Phoenix. And then the run script here, I have one for mix install. That's what I want to run. It is. It is. Okay. So this is like a very small change, right? But I would imagine there probably is maybe going to be like an Elixir change, like maybe the programming language. There's a new release potentially. And I don't think I updated Postgres and Redis for this one, but I'll actually see about that one. But let me first go to the changelog. Okay, so there is some unreleased stuff here. Wow, big updates here. What am I doing? So the backend changes first, right? Why did I put all these before? I mean, I should have put them below. But yeah, I mean, it's not like the end of the world here. Yeah, I'll just throw it here. Why not? So update, and you can see on this one, I actually did do, like, put this in code snippet instead of how it was before. Update from 0.27x to 0.31x. Well, I don't know the exact previous version because, you know, if we go back to that mix file, it was like, you know, something greater than or equal to 0.270, right? So it could technically have gotten like 271 or whatever. I mean, yeah, I guess it's going to be in the lock file, but yeah, I don't feel like really going through this one. Yeah, Floki, there we go. So 0.30.1 is what we had before. I don't know. Yeah, okay, whatever. So yeah, what am I doing? I am rambling right now. Losing my train of thought. Yes, so this is ready to be commit now once this actually builds. But what could we do next? Well, we can go and take a look for maybe what the latest version of Elixir is using that same dtags command. It doesn't matter that I'm running it from the play directory, that's fine. So Elixir, we'll grep for slim. And okay, so there's 1.12.1 is the latest version. So if I go to the Docker file here, what are we dealing with? Actually, you know what? I think it's in here, isn't it? Yeah, wait. Update Elixir from 1. Wow, okay, that's a mistake then. Because that should have been 12, not 21. We're not quite that far in the future yet. But again, it's just like an unreleased changelog thing. So I'll make that as part of like a different commit, like fix changelog, and we'll get to see how to use git add p and splitting things there. But okay, so before we get there though, let me close this and then get status that. Okay, so many things changed. Oh yeah, I was screwing around with something before. So I actually need to touch that static keep file. I don't want to lose that one. Like that should never have been deleted, but I accidentally deleted it. So that's why that's like that. But okay, so git add p on the changelog. So what did I do? Why is that so much changes? I only changed one thing. Did I forget to like commit something before? Wow, there's so many changes here. Now I am a little bit low. Oh, hold on. What the hell happened there? Update credo from 1.55 to 1.56, 14.1. So I feel like the 14.1, like I don't know what that's in reference to, but clearly shouldn't be there. Okay, now my game's thrown off. Okay, credo 1.56. Okay, so credo's good. I'm missing a line though. Okay, so how did that happen exactly? Okay. Cool. So X coveralls there is now correct, I guess, but that got deleted. Oh, so I need to actually, that's another bind. I have two, by the way. Control up arrow keys or down arrow. We'll just move a line up or down. But there's still something screwy here. There's something really screwy. Well, actually, no, you know what? No, we're good now, right? There's nothing in the git gutter except for the new flow key and the new update elixir from this one. Okay, great. So let me get add p this for that. Wait, so why is that still showing that it's like there's something wrong with that? Did I actually add something before by accident? No, I didn't. So, okay. Well, okay, let me split this first. Yes, we want that one. We want to quit out the rest. And let me just fix this one, like fix elixir version update. Right, I tend to not put things like fix elixir version update in changelog or something because it's like the git commit message is of the changelog. So I don't like to add that to the message itself. Just makes it a little bit long in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know what happened to Credo there because it's like something is out of sync and weird. Maybe, hold on, do I need to save this file on top? No, because you can see, look, there's nothing in the git gutter, so that means like nothing changed. However, doing a git status says that this got changed to be from above this to below this. So like technically it should be like this, but we can see too, I just saved, and now that it's not going to be there, I understand that, but I don't know why this git gutter thing got out of sync. All right, whatever. So yes, so I'm going to update Floki there. That's Floki. Okay, great. So update Floki to latest version. Cool. And then what am I doing? Next. Again, now it's out of sync again. That thing is being really weird. But if I do a get status, get add p on changelog, what is going on? I don't know. Okay, let's add it. Fine. Like I don't know. I'm not going to add it as like another commit though, but I'll just do a no edit. Like it's not super important, but I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Now next, what are we doing? Front end stuff for Phoenix. Then we are in the clear. So front end stuff is going to be very easy because again we can just go to the package.json here and copy that whole entire thing. Then we're going to go to the package.json here, get rid of all of that, paste that in, and that is going to be all of that. Wait, now what's going on? Wait, was that even the Phoenix one? No, that's the Rails one because I'm like, what is Turbo Rails doing in there? And how did Turbo Rails even get copied? I don't know what's going on. This is what happens when you make a 45-minute video and you don't know what you're getting into. But yes, actually, let me close this. Yeah, that's the Rails example. Okay, cool. That's the node one. Yeah, Phoenix is 6. Jesus Christ. I swear I'm not this dumb. It's like as soon as recording starts, then like things are starting to break internally. But no, actually, this one is a little bit different because there is a number of Phoenix things here that are very Phoenix specific. So I'm going to keep those there. What am I going to do? Yeah, so I'll just split this. Well, I'll split it so it's a little bit easier for both of us to read. Then I'm going to pop in all of this stuff down here. These are all dev dependencies, so I'm going to grab all of them, copy that, okay, close out that vsplit on the bottom, and now I'm figuring out, like, is there anything Phoenix specific here that I'm going to overwrite them? I don't think so. No, there's no Phoenix stuff there that's specific. Okay, great. So yeah, a million changes there. I understand. Invalid syntax. Yes. Okay. Could have did delete to the end of line. Yeah, sometimes it's a little bit hard to remember all the Vim hotkeys when you're doing like live style videos like this one. But we can see basically, everything got updated here basically, except for pre-CSS and this other one. But yeah, all here. Let's see. In terms of like package updates for Phoenix on the JavaScript side of things, we may actually have some here. So let me see if there are any. So there's all the backend ones that we just did, basically just updating Floki. But this one, yeah, we can see there's no front-end dependencies. So and that sort of kind of makes sense, right? Like I'm still using Phoenix 1.59, which is the latest version, but these other dependencies didn't need to get updated because like I'm not, there's not a newer version of Phoenix out. So we did the mix install one. Now we just need to do the same thing here and just do a yarn install. And that is going to take care of all of that. And then we're done with Phoenix and we can move on to maybe the node one, which I think was 5, right? Yeah, Docker node example. Cool. So the node example, if we go down here, that is this one here. This is, sort of an interesting example because there is a backend and front end, and both of them are using Node. They each have their own package JSON file, like for the backend front end. So for the front end, or the backend, sorry, let's do this one first. So I'm going to grab all these here and jump over to the Node example, to the backend, and then we'll go to package JSON here. And I'm going to split this one. Then just jump down here, whatever, paste some junk in, because, this is package JSON of the backend. And what are we doing? We need to update connect Redis. So connect Redis is going to go to 6.0. That's a big deal. Okay. Well, wow. Okay. I don't know what is going on there. I swear to God, like a newer version of the Microsoft Terminal came out and it's introduced so many funky little like edge case weird things that I've encountered like 15 times a day. Like, I don't know, I wish I can just lock it into a specific version because it gets auto-updated and it's super annoying. But yeah, some weird stuff goes on once in a while. But yes, ESLint, that is a dev dependency, 7.28 is going to be there. Cool, and then ESLint plugin imports, that one is going to be 234, cool. And then the next one, 2.51 for ES6JS layouts, that is over here, 2.51 for that one. Okay, great, and that is that. And then we have a couple more, Express Session that got updated to 17.2, and then 27.04 for Jest. Jest is over here. That's also a pretty big one. Not really sure what's going to go with that because I'm not primarily like super hardcore Node developer. I've deployed a couple of Node apps for some clients work, but yeah, I'm not really like into the dev stuff. But I know some best practices, but yeah, it's not like on the same level as Flask and Rails and stuff. But okay, so we have that set up. What did we do before? Yeah, so the Phoenix one. It's still running this. It's basically just about done now. Since this is done basically now, I'm going to end up doing a compose up here, and we'll just make sure that everything works here. And then I'll jump back to the Node one. Yeah. So that is loading. There's the website. There is Phoenix, and there is Webpack. If I go here, reload, this should be Phoenix. Nice. Learn Doc fundamentals, cool, Phoenix run in mix mode. It actually supports releases as well. So if you set the env to prod, then it's automatically going to run that in a release instead of a mix, or yeah, instead of using mix. But let me actually go back to here for the Django one, reload. You can see 13 minutes ago, we have the check mark there. So now it is time to run our test suite. Well, I didn't even run the test suite with Django locally. I'm sure you caught that one, but yeah, the test suite and CI caught that one. But if I go to here, Phoenix, what is the run command for this one? I think it's just mix test, right? Yeah, right. So just mix test because that's a built-in command to mix. I'm not bothering running, like I have linting tools set up for all of this as well, but that's not super important because I'm not really changing anything like in terms of formatting. But yes, I can see there is something that blew up here. Cannot invoke sandbox operation with to use SQL sandbox configure your repository, blah, blah. Okay. I need to look at my env file here. Am I just not set to development mode? No, I am. Okay. Yeah, so mixed dev. No, I think I know the reason for this one. I think I actually do need to run a specific test command. No. What is going on? Oh, I do. Yeah, there was an explicit test command that I had. Okay, now I understand. Sort of. Because I remember the run command here. If I look for function test, yeah, so it actually, this explicit test command, it will set the mix environment to be test. So you don't need to pass in an environment variable to the other command. Because when you run the test command, it needs to be run with mix env test because when I ran an up here in this middle window here, it's actually running mix in dev mode. But, when that mode is set for dev, then yeah, the test runner is just like, I can't really use sandbox mode there because, yeah, it's not test or whatever. So yeah, this will fix it. And once Phoenix finishes compiling, then we should see all successful tests there. Then, I'll just wait a minute or two. Once they compile, it's very, very fast. Like the test suite will just run in like 100 milliseconds or something, even though there's only technically 2 tests here. Yeah, there's some deprecation warnings here or whatever. Yeah, but this is like all part of live dashboard. It's not like my code. So, Jose or who's ever watching, if you happen to be watching, then I'm sure you know about this. I think this is actually already fixed in master. It's just not pushed out to release because I did look that up once. But we can see here, yeah, all of our tests are passing very, very quickly. So nice. Now Phoenix is done. Then we can technically, just push this one up. Actually, let me look at my get log first. Is that what I want to push up? So fix Elixir version update, update Floki to latest versions. No, what am I doing? Don't I need to commit all those front-end changes as well? Right, so assets, all of them. And also I need to go into the changelog as well. No, I need to add them. Yes. Now, changelog, okay, cool. Update all Webpacker related dependencies. I actually do not need to update the changelog because I already have this line here. And since we're dealing with like an unreleased release, there's no like version number here. So this is almost like a rolling update, right? Like it's like, okay, the latest happens to be this right now, but maybe 2 weeks ago, it was a little bit different. Probably not the best practice there, but you know, once I cut the actual release, like an actual number, then yeah. So, and actually this one calls out Tailwind specifically here, instead of just being like, oh, update all Webpacker node dependencies. So I do need to add this one as well. So yes, that's part of that commit. And then like update Webpack dependencies. Yeah, I could put like, I know I put like node dependencies or whatever for the other one. At this point, like it's not that big of a deal. In fact, probably update Webpack dependencies is probably to their latest versions. I don't know if that's going to fit. So when I don't know if it's going to fit, so I usually open Vim here to do the commit. So I can be like update Webpack dependencies to latest versions. I mean, I know it's like probably proper even just like there. Yeah, that makes it too long. We can see, right, syntax highlighting. I need to basically kill 2 characters. So maybe I can just do update Webpack deps to the latest versions. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, cool. So now git push origin main, right? Because we updated back-end dependencies Floki, and then all the front end, we did testing. Everything is good to go there. Cool. And I'm like not cheating on you guys when I know you probably saw something less here, like this dev container thing. So I had someone message me, they emailed me directly, and they're like, hey, have you ever gotten like VSCode Remote Containers to work with an Elixir application? And I'm like, no, but I've gotten remote containers to work before with other ones. So yeah, I just set up a little basic example here. Yeah, it's super basic, but yeah, it just installs Elixir ES or LS with VS Code so that if you wanted to use remote containers with VS Code, then you can do that. But yeah, I don't use VS Code in my day-to-day. This happens to just be here because, yeah, maybe, in fact, I may actually end up putting all of these in version control. Like right now they're not because, yeah, a lot of people do use VS Code, maybe in Vim mode, maybe not, but could be useful to have. In any case though, let me go back to here and see how we're doing with the Phoenix ones. I don't think that's going to be done running yet. And this one's actually pretty interesting. I don't know why. I don't know if there's some gremlins in GitHub Actions when it comes to like working with Phoenix specifically, but this one seems to fail like 30% of the time, but it only fails randomly. Like it's not like I can rerun the job and it'll pass. So there's something funky going on with that one. But we were working with Node before, weren't we? And how far did we get there? So and this is like another takeaway too, I guess, around context switching, right? We spent all that time just rechecking the Phoenix stuff. It's like, I forgot what I was doing here, but not really. Like, you know, we were updating the dev dependencies there. And I think these are all actually updated, right? Right. So did I update the changelog for this one? No. So this needs to be, so this gets a little annoying because now I have to open up the package JSON for the backend below this one. And now it's like, okay, what am I actually doing? Like, I know I have each individual package set up. So yeah, so update, I'm gonna go with, I guess, express EJS layouts from, I don't even know what it was before. Like, I'm just gonna say 2.50. I'll of course figure out the right one, but just putting it in now, it's like a placeholder. I think it may have been that or something like that, wasn't it? Yeah, so if I scroll back up here to the one here, yeah, EJS layouts, yeah, it was 2.50, now 2.51. The session one is 1.17.1, okay? So the session one also needs to be like right below it, let's just say, express session, cool, session, but this one was what? This one was, okay, learn to Vim 1.17.1 to 1.17.2. Nice. So we have 2 of them down. What else do we need? Connect Redis. That one got updated all the way to 6.00. Cool. How are we doing with the Phoenix one? I don't like to see failing ones there, but let's see if we'll see it. No, that's actually the wrong repo. Nope, still running. Okay, great. All right. So we have Connect Redis, these 2, and then we also need ESLint as well. That is going to be from 7.26. 7.260. This is going to be, I don't know. This feels to me like it's going to be a boring video because yeah, 54 minutes, like you seriously watching this at this point in time, like commend you for that one. But yeah, this is really what it's like, right? Like 54 minutes, right? By the time it's going to be like an hour 20 or maybe something like that. And it's like, that's the amount of real life time it took me to do all of this. And you know, it's a little bit faster when I'm not narrating things, especially with the font sizes, because it can have a lot more things side by side. But yeah, I duplicated that a lot. So let me see. All right, I'm gonna copy this one, and then jump down there, copy this one, and that one goes there, this one goes away. Okay, well, jest will be there, but okay. But this needs to be, right, 14.2.1, right? Okay. But I know there's like the previous version of that. I already forgot what it was. 14.2.1, and the other one is 2.234. 2.234. Okay, 2.234. Cool. So now go back to here. What actually was that? So 2.232 for the plugin import. 2.232 for the plugin imports. Plugin import. Okay, so that changes to a 2. And then what about the ESLint, the Airbnb one? Is that not here? How did that end up getting updated then? Dev dependencies. Oh, I guess it just, no, the Airbnb. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it was before, but I'll have to look. So let's see what it was before. So if I go to the backend package.json, then Airbnb one was 14.2.1. 14.2.1. But, oh, that didn't even change. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Yeah, okay. So we've got jest. Cool, ESLint, good. Jest is the last one then. Great. So I'm going to copy that, bring that down here. Cool, and then change this to be jest. Jest is going to be what exactly? Yeah, jest is going to be 2704. I don't know what it was before, whatever. Let's see. It's going to be over here. Jest 2663. Okay, that's fine. 2663. Cool. 2663. Okay, some of these are like weird. Like, I don't know if there's a faster way to like change everything in between backticks. Like, can I actually do like, you know, change in backtick? No, it's a weird one because the backtick is also my hotkey for tmux. So like I have to double tap that one. So like change in double tap. Yeah, I guess it actually does work. So I just did CI and then double tap the backtick. Like that is quite a bit faster. So I'll know now. Okay. So we've got our changelog set up for the backend. Great. All of this is good. All of that is good. I can close this, open up. Well, actually, I don't want to close Vim entirely, but I will open up a new window here and go to CD node over here, get status. And then what are we doing? We are doing all of these updates here. And then this one. Yes, but I also need to do a run yarn install. And this one's interesting because there's like two different yarn installs, right? One for the backend, front end. So the front end one is actually prefixed for front end, but we do need to run the backend one first. That's going to generate a new lock file. I'll need to add that to our git commit or you know, into our staged files. And then I'll do the commit once this runs because we need that lock file. It's very important. But yeah, going back to the Phoenix one here, did this actually fail on video so we can see it? Nope, it didn't. It actually worked. Great. So we have all of these updates here. These are all working good. And yeah, so next step here would be, do I want to, well, I'll start checking to see what we're dealing with when it comes to Postgres and Redis. So this one does need to be updated. Okay, great. This one's this one. 6.24 was the latest release there. I'll go to the changelog for this one. And yeah, I'll do update PostgreSQL from, I don't know if it was 13.31 to 13.33. I wasn't really paying attention here if that was 13.2 or not, but I can go to the compose file here and no, actually it's probably going to be faster even just to jump here and just go right to the compose file for the backend over here, compose, there we go, Postgres, yeah, 13.2, okay. But I'm going to jump back to here, change this one to be 2, and yeah, so our lock file now is done. If I do another get status here, we can see now I can add the backend yarn lock file. We're also going to add, yeah, no, that is it for that because the other commit we're going to want separate, right, for Postgres. So yes, git commit, update yarn backend dependencies. Cool. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to do the Postgres update there. So that's going to be that one and that one, not that one. And then we'll do update Postgres to 13.3. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing here for Redis. So we're going to do Redis from, now I can do my change in double backticks there. Oh, but you have to do it so fast. Oh, okay. This is where sometimes it's like longer just to do it that way. Okay, this one was 6 point, some crazy whatever that was. I know it wasn't that, but 6.24. It was 6.10. I don't know what it was. Okay, it was 6.010. Yeah, I was close. 6.010. Cool. That's updating Redis, and that is going to be get add a to this one. Update Redis there. Update Redis here. Cool. Update Redis to 6.24. Okay, so now that our backend changes are done, we have the log file already set up and ready to go. Now it is time to do the front end changes for this one. Also probably wouldn't hurt just to see like what the latest LTS release is for Node. I actually have no idea. So let's do Node, probably going to grep Slim for this one. Maybe it's like 16 something. Actually, I have no idea. So let me check my Docker file. I know this one's a little bit, not like super outdated, but that's like the front end stuff. Okay, 14.15.5. So if I do a grep here for lines that start with 14 with anything else, -slim. So 14.9. All right, so 14.17.1 seems like a good idea. Okay, 14.17.1. I'll do the same thing here. Why not 14.17.1? Well, I'm going to keep that one in. No. Yeah, I'm actually going to update both of them so they can share the same base image. So 14.17.1, but I should go back and actually update the Node versions for all of them. But yeah, it's like such a minor thing. And actually, I wonder, is like 16 available or something? I don't know. Doesn't Node use like even numbers as like the latest LTS? That's a bigger change that could break some packages. So I'm going to play it safe on this one and just use 14.17 for now. And, you know, maybe I'll update to the latest one in a different time. But yes, if I go back to the front end package JSON now it's like I need to grab all of these specific dev dependencies for Webpack and stuff. Like I'm just going to grab them from the Flask application here and bring them over here to number 5 and then just paste them in. We can see probably all sorts of different changes here. Tailwind, Webpack, all of them. Cool. So now all I need to do is run front end yarn install. And the really funny thing is too, by the time all of this is done, I bet you if I rerun that DEAU script, it's probably going to be like, hey, by the way, here's 5 more dependencies that you need to update. But yeah, that's life. Yes. So we are almost done with this. And then what are we going to do next? Probably going to jump into the play one because, yeah, the Rails one is just like the odd one out, right? It's a little bit different to do that. So if I go to the play here, it actually says that there are no updates for the play app itself, but I know that's untrue probably because there's no output here at all. Like there should have been at the very least like an empty line of output, but I don't know what happened there. So what I need to do there is run the play application manually, figure out why that script, the DEAU script, isn't working for play. Probably going to do that one on my own time. Otherwise, this video is going to be 100 miles long or 100 hours long. Yeah, but for me to run the play example needs the other examples not to be running. But this is very close to running here, the node one. So because I just want to like get the node one cleaned up and done, and then like I can just push it up, right? But this should be done. Well, actually, it has still quite a lot of work to do because we updated the node version, so it's essentially rerunning everything. So it's rebuilding everything. Okay, so I guess what I could do then is I'll just jump over to the play one here, and we'll just tackle the front end stuff first. So if I go to the package.json there, then I want to paste that in. And I'm also eyeballing that paste to see if there's like new lines added or something. But yeah, all these use the same things. So if I open up the changelog here, yeah, so let me go to the Flask changelog. I'll just do like update all front-end dependencies to the latest versions. Cool. That is going to be there. Yep, I accidentally copied that like an idiot, so I have to recopy there. Sometimes that happens. I just accidentally, like instead of hitting O to like make a new line, I just hit P there, and yeah, whatever. So update all front-end dependencies to the latest versions. that is looking good. But now I need to run a run yarn install here. But how are we doing with the node one there? Because that command is going to generate a log file like this one that's going to like give port conflicts and stuff. So yeah, I need to wait for this one to finish, but fortunately we are basically done. That's just going to generate its log file, and then we are out of here. So get status. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to do the Docker one last, of course. Okay. So get add front end package star, because that's going to add both the log file and this one here for the front end. And then we do the changelog. Update all Webpack related dependencies to the latest versions. Okay, great. This is, well, actually, I think we're going to see a new release coming out for this one, because this is starting to get like, my God, there's a lot of changes here. And there's like core things and fixes and backend things and JIT compilers that, you know, if someone was using this from like months ago, absolutely worth it. So, but first, before I cut a new release, which is kind of cool, I'm happy to see that we're able to include that in the video. Let me commit here, just like, you know, update front. Actually, what did I do for the backend ones? It was right here. Yeah, update yarn backend dependencies. So that's going to be git commit update yarn front end dependencies. Cool. And then, yeah, the Docker one. Well, the node one, yeah, in the Docker file, right? We updated node to be this version, but that is going to require me to go into the README file also and change the node version here to this one. So Express itself didn't change, so yeah, we didn't have to change that. And I do have screenshots for all of these, but the screenshots, they don't get updated every single time I bump a minor version. Like if I were to jump to like node 16 or like, you know, Express 20 or something like that, then I would make a new screenshot, because the screenshot process, a little bit tedious. I have to go to the page, like zoom in and do all this other stuff. But what am I doing first here? Yeah, so I need to commit this as this and that. And that, so like update node to 17.1. Then I'm going to do a git docker compose up, and hopefully this all runs, and then I can check it out in the browser, and then we'll push it up, make sure it all, you know, I'll run local tests as well, make sure it all passes up on CI, then I'll cut the release over. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so if I reload, that should be the node stuff now. Yep, in development mode, everything is looking good. Things are the way they should be. Cool, so I'm gonna open up another window here, go back to cd docker node. I can't believe how long this video is gonna be. Okay, and this is like a jest command or whatever, but yeah, okay. So run jest, and then that's gonna do its thing. Should run fairly fast. I have a couple of passing tests, hopefully. Yeah, nice, cool. Yeah, I don't know about this message. If you know how to fix this warning, then yeah, let me know. Feel free to open a PR, right? So git status. Everything is all good to go there. Everything is working. Everything is running. Am I missing anything obvious? No. I updated what I wanted to update. Everything is updated in the changelog. All the git logs messages here are here. We're going to roll with it. Git push origin main. And then, yeah, then we're going to cut the release over once this passes up on GitHub here, which it should. If I reload the page there, you can see it's going to run. This is going to do its thing. All of that is going to pass. Then I'm going to push a release. Okay, so what do I do to push a release? Not that much different than what's already been done. So because it's not like I'm putting this on like NPM or something, right? It's just like the process here is like, okay, I'll copy this line here. I'm going to bump the release to 2.0 or 0.20, sorry. And today is actually the 18th. Then what do I need to do from here? I need to go to the README file, do a search for 1.0, because in the README file itself, I have the instructions near the top to be like, hey, by the way, you know, first steps are to clone the repo. Hey, by the way, also, if you don't want to use the master branch, you can check out like the latest release. So it's really important to put the latest release number here. And that's actually it for that, but not quite, because I need to like also put unreleased, and then what is unreleased? Well, just one. There we go. Unreleased, nothing yet. Okay, there's actually quite a bit more, isn't there? Yeah, down here, I need to do this, change this to be 0.2, and then this actually becomes, I'm gonna grab it from a different example. Yeah, because there's like a different endpoint. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do that, bring that over to here, then copy this one here, God, I did it again with the PO thing. Okay, I'm going to go here to here, paste that in, get rid of the P, get rid of this, change this to be 2, and then this changes to be the lower number first, which is going to be 1. What are we changing it to 2? And then we're going to change the Flask to be node. And then we're going to change this to be 2. So basically the idea is we're creating shortcut links, right? So someone can actually click a specific thing here, like 0.2, and we'll see this in a second here. Let me just make sure this passes before I actually start committing and pushing things. There we go. We'll see in a second here. But here's the idea, right? Like we're cutting a new release. What did we do? Well, we added all the stuff here. Don't need to change anything because it's already been written here before. We add the new unreleased section for next time, right? And then down here, we set up our links. So all of this stuff works. And let me just make sure like the word Flask or whatever isn't in here. Cool. And now if I do a get status, then what are we going to do? We are going to update all those things that we just talked about here, right? And then we are going to make the README file adjustment. Then I'm going to commit this as, I don't know, actually. I forget, like I used very specific terminology for the release commits, but I don't even see it in here. grep 0.10, no? Okay. Well, geez, okay, what is the get log here? Like, what wordage did I use for actually making like a new release? Yeah, bump project 2 and then 0.20 is what I want. Git commit, bump project to 0.60. Definitely don't want to do that, right? Nope, I want to amend that commit because it's not 6, right? It's 2. So git commit amends. We can type here. What happened here? Whoa, something really crazy bad just happened here. And I didn't save that. So, okay, hold on. What's going on? Update this to this. Yeah, there's no way that actually got saved as a commit because, wait, but how? Well, there's all sorts of craziness happening here. One, I'm in the Phoenix directory. That's not good. Let me deal with that when I get there. But, okay, so get log. I updated there. Good. If I do a get status here, that's all ready to go. So I can actually just do commit. Well, I don't want to get the shot there. Like bump project 2, 0.20 was the correct wording. Is that what I want to do? Yeah. Okay. And then the final thing here is if you watched my video about signing git commits and stuff like that and tags, then we're going to tag that as 20 get log bump project to 0.20. All of the changes are there. Back end, front end stuff. Well, actually, where is the front end commit? Oh, it's right there. Update your front end. Yeah, because I did the back end way before. Okay, great. So now we can do get push origin main. And then, yeah, this will rerun CI, but it's also going to, give us a new release here. Oh, yeah, I screwed up there. You need to push with tags, right? But GitHub is pretty smart with GitHub Actions, so like the other one's going to get like I'm pretty sure auto canceled, and because it's not like making a separate commit message, it's going to rerun what it needs to here. But we can see, yeah, there it is, all of our commits, and then here on the right we see the releases that just a minute ago. So eventually this will pass, one will hope, and we can see everything is all up to date and ready to go. This wraps to 2 lines because I'm zoomed in. But what craziness happened to me when it came to Phoenix? Because yeah, I did all sorts of issues here. And I'm looking at this get status here. And I'm not liking this different commits each. Something diverged. All right. Well, we're going to go on a fun example or adventure, I guess. Update Webpack deps to the latest version. First of all, what's going on there? So git show on this one. Tailwind to this. Let me go back to the changelog here. Yeah, because I did have that one explicitly pulled out. And this is also getting to the point too where maybe a new release is looking good here too, because yeah, we got rid of the spec here. Tailwind's been updated, Elixir's been updated, some service updates. Did I not do the Redis one here? Oh no, Redis, there is no Redis with the Phoenix example app. Because Oben is the background worker that I chose to use and it happens to use Postgres as a backend. So Redis is not a dependency there. And there is caching that you can use with ETS, but that's beyond the point of this video. But yeah, so what happened here? So these are all the front end updates. Git log, right? Yes, cool. So like what is going on when I do a git status here? There's nothing here that needs to be pushed or pulled, but why would I need to pull anything? I didn't push anything, did I? Other than like what we already did before. And there was no conflicts or anything, right? Update Webpack deps to the latest versions. Yes, that's the latest thing that's been pushed, and it's all good. Right? Right. Okay. So then if I do this here, does it say, but if I do a get log, it's like literally the latest thing here, right? Update Webpack deps to the latest version. I don't understand. You have your branch and origin main have diverged. Okay. Do I really want to merge the remote branch with mine? I mean, I don't know what happened there. Isn't there like a get ref log? I didn't save that, but that still happened. Okay, so when things like this happen and like I have no idea what in the world just happened, first of all, like what does the get log look like now? Yeah, like what is this? Okay, thanks. Like there's no details there. So when things like this happen, where I don't know what happens and I don't want to like ruin my git commit history, I just take the easy way out here and I'll delete everything and just pull down the repo from here. First, let me see if this node thing passed so I can at least not have to think about that. Okay, great. Now, what am I doing? Yeah, the Phoenix one here. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing here that I care about other than this dev container stuff, which actually I'm going to take that one file. I'm going to copy that dev container. Oops, dev container. I'm going to copy that. Where am I going to copy that to? Back one directory to my GitHub directory, so it's just temporarily there. Yes. Is this a move I really want to do? Yes, I want to do that. Do I though? I do. All right, it's done. There's no going back now. So I'm going to go back here and copy this one and clone that there. And now it's like, hey, we're back. And I mean, I'll need to copy my env example to env. This is just part of the README file, by the way. Docker compose override example to Docker compose override, just .yaml, and then we're good, totally good. But I feel like we're done with the Phoenix one, except for cutting a new release there, which I need to do. No, oh, didn't I need to do, yeah, I'm pretty sure I just lost something. Not super like really that important. No, I don't think I lost anything. I think I just need to, did I really, wait, hold on. Did I actually commit the lock file for this? Did I not do that? That would be kind of lame if I didn't. No, the lock file is there. Yeah, I mean, this is all done and ready to go then. I don't know what the heck happened. But yeah, I want to cut a release here. Yes, I understand dev container is not there, but yes, I'll just copy this, reload my sidebar. Yeah, I guess I'll just make a new directory here. What was it called? Dev container, I guess. And no, I don't think it was called .dev container, was it? Where did that even get created? Oh, I don't think I created a directory. No, because it needs to end with a slash, whatever. I don't even care about that file. What I care about now is cutting a new release for Phoenix. So I'm going to go to the changelog file here. Wow, what is going on with my life? Control P, changelog. Why isn't it doing anything? Okay. Oh, I know exactly why. Because I deleted that directory. So it's like I need to reopen Vim. Like that totally makes sense. Okay, great. So changelog, what am I doing? What am I doing? I am doing adding nothing yet. I don't know why I always do double there. So that's going to come down here. And this is going to change to some number here. And that is going to change to this. And then this is going to be also a point to release 4.6.18. Cool. I mean, is that really where this project is at? There's just one release in there? I guess it is, but yeah, I've got all this stuff here. And oh, by the way, just heads up with the README file, or the changelog, I should say. So, you know, I can click this 0.20 now and then get an actual diff between 0.1 and 0.2, which is really awesome. Like if you were using this project in your own project, then you might want to jump through some of these commits here and sync up the changes that were done. So yeah, that's why it's a good idea to really sort it often, right? Because you don't want to, like this one took a lot, like there's been a number of different commits there, but they're all like super well documented. So yeah, I'm actually going to get rid of some of these tabs here. Yeah, so the Phoenix one, what am I doing now? I need to do what I did before for this one. So all I'm going to do is grab this line here, bring this over to here. And this is going to change to 2, and this is going to change to Phoenix. Right? Right. Phoenix example app 1 is going to change to 2. Compare these to the head there. We are good to go unreleased. We are good to go with that. Almost knocked that one through. Then the README file also needs to change. So the README is going to have a 0.01. That's going to change to 0.02. Then, yeah, it's just back to what we did before, basically, where it was a get status. Git add p on this one. Yep, we were updating that. Is that really today's date? It is. Then, yep, that is all good. That is all good. And then bump project to 0.20. Yeah, yep. And then we're going to do this to 0.20. Then we're going to get push origin main with tags this time. No need to basically do 2 pushes there because this time I'll remember to use tags. And now if I go to Phoenix here and I reload, then we should see another busy one. But this time there's like a second release. Yeah, because it passed previously. So yeah, cool. Now, do I want to do the plain one next or the Rails one next? Yeah, let me also keep this one open, but I will kill this one out. Yeah, I guess it's not super, well, I'll keep that one there. Yeah, the node one also will go away. Like, why not? I know I can control D that to be a little bit faster. I'll keep the Rails one open, the Phoenix one, I'll control D that one, and control D that one. See, a little bit faster. But then this one also, I don't even know where I'm at with that. Wait, that is the play application. Well, that was the one I was waiting to build, right? It wasn't the Phoenix one. So yeah, it gets confusing with all these context switching. But what did I do there? I updated all front-end dependencies. But this is the one where I didn't regenerate the lock file for that one. So like if I go to here and I do a get status, there's not going to be a lock file, right? Correct. We can see, right, there's no yarn.lock file. So this one I need to run yarn install. And that's going to update all the front-end dependencies because we just did that before here, right? In this package.json file, right? We have all these changes here. But now we also need to do the backend one as well. But I need to wait for that. But I don't even know. Let me also, well, is there anything else I can do in here in the meantime? Like, for example, with the service updates or whatever. Yeah, that is 13.3. That's 6.23. I'm pretty sure that needs to be a 4 now. So if I go to changelog, changed update Redis to 6.24. That's good. Okay. Is that going to be is that going to be it for that? I think it might. Yeah, because I don't need to change it anywhere else. I just need to make the git commit message for that one. But I need to wait for this to run. And this one actually might take quite a while to run. But instead of just like cutting everything, maybe I'll just make that commit message now for the Redis one. So git commit and update Redis to 6.24. Okay, cool. Yeah, you need to add p on Docker Compose YAML file. Yep. What happened there? Extra new line on the bottom. That would be not good. Not like the end of the world, but did I just, oh, was there really a new line at the very end? I don't know. Oh, I think it's, so, oh, that actually finished pretty fast, by the way. But let me, hold on. Git add p Docker file compose. Okay, fine. And then what are we doing? Git status. Get diff cached. We're going to see like what actually changed. Yeah, it's just the Redis change and then the new line thing. Okay. So, and then I have the git commit here. Update Redis to this. Okay. Yeah. So the reason that new line got into the file is because this project for play is actually, it was something I worked on together with a friend. So that's why it's in her repo here. Lexi over here is not in like, you know, Docker play example on my repo. But her code editor, I don't think she is using, well, I know she's not using Vim, but yeah, I think it just adds like a trailing new line at the end of the file, like an extra one. So that's why that sometimes happens. Not a big deal. We didn't really go over like, you know, formatting specifics on that. Yeah, it's not a big deal. But yeah, so what do I need to do now? I need to do a git add a to, actually, no, I need to go to the changelog file now. And well, I think that's going to be a little, okay, so here's an interesting thing. So when you do git add p on something like this, notice how these lines are right on top of each other, right on top of each other. And if I try to split that, it's going to be like, nah, you can't really split this chunk. Now, there's other things you can do here. Like you can do an E here, and you can just be like, well, you know what? I just want this chunk here, and that is going to do it here. And yeah, the other stuff I don't want. So if I do a get status here, then I can actually do, well, actually, let me do a diff cache there. But we can see here, we just have this, right? But if I do a get log, I need to amend that commit. So if I do amend, no edit, then that's going to be a part of that commit now. If I do get log here and do get show, we can see now that we have both the changelog and the YAML file change. But now we are actually ready to do a get status here. And yeah, so we can see as soon as I click into Vim, this bottom one's going to go away because it's already been commit. But yeah, now it's like the front end dependency stuff, right? So get add p, if I can type get add p, front end dependencies, and then all of these are going to be added. Yes. Isn't there like is A is all? I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah. So get status, this one, update all front end dependencies. Cool. And then if I go to the Docker file, we are dealing with OpenJDK. I wonder what the latest version of this one is. So if I do a d tags and then OpenJDK, and then I want to grep lines that start with 11 just to see where we're at here. I guess Slim also would be a good idea to have in there. Okay, so we have 11.09, which is lower. That means we need to go up here. Okay, so 11.11. Yeah, so 11.0.11, 11.0.11. Great. So we are in good shape there. Now it is the backend dependencies that may need to change, but why didn't the DAU script do that? I don't know. But we are about to, well, not find out why the script didn't work, but find out what is going on with those backend dependencies. So the first thing I need to do, actually, is anything running besides my Kubernetes cluster? No. Okay. So I'm going to compose up here, run the project, basically doing some manual steps that script should have done for me, but it's not too big of a deal. I'm going to zoom in here also because we're going to do some second terminal here. Well, I guess I can't zoom into two things, so I'll just make this smaller for now. And the play application is all up and running right now. Then it should be reload and then play up and everything works and life will be amazing. One time, yeah, there we go. So we can see, let me zoom out just a tiny bit there. There's play, latest versions, well, possibly latest versions, I don't know, app mode dev, good, created by both of us, nice, good. But now we need to run the outdated command, which I think she just put as run outdated. Yes, there we go. And this should technically report back a whole bunch of different outdated dependencies for play. I just don't know why it didn't work with my script, but yeah, I don't know what the output of this is even going to be. Like we've run this together before, but that was like months ago, so I forget these details. Okay, so it looks like Flyway and PostgreSQL both need to be updated. And if I remember correctly, this is in like a dependencies file. Okay, this is basically like a requirements text file, sorta, but for Scala, but not. Like I know enough Node and stuff, to be dangerous in there, but this stuff is like a little bit out of my wheelhouse. But yeah, I think I can handle an update like this. So unless things actually don't work anymore, in which case I'm gonna have to call upon her to help with that because yeah, I have no idea. But 42.2.22, okay. Those are the only two dependencies that we needed to update, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So then we're gonna run, I don't know the name of the command, but it's probably going to be something like some build variant type of command. Okay, so clean tmd help outdated sbt reload. Oh wait, there's no lock file for this, isn't there? Like there is no lock file. We didn't set up a lock file, so I think all I have to do here is just do a docker compose build because there's no need to complicate it beyond that. Yeah, because there's no lock file that needs to be volume mounted out. So basically the run script for the other languages that have the lock file, yeah, the purpose of that is because it ends up not just building the image, but also runs it. And then, you can volume mount the lock file and you get it back and then it stops it. So yes, in this case, a build should just do it. Let's see, any passing tests I need to worry about? No, this is long. Oh, actually, let me see if Phoenix is good. Yeah, there we go. Because now we had 2 shots at getting that random failure, but it didn't fail anymore. I wonder if it was like a temporary GitHub Actions thing. But yeah, so what am I doing next? The Rails stuff. So because, I'm going to wait for this thing while it runs. So the Rails stuff. I'm not like sighing because it's a pain in the ass, but yeah, it's just like different. Like I can't just copy over the Webpack config because it's like, it's different. But let's start with the gem file first. So the backend stuff, I'm just going to grab all of those. Then actually it's interesting, I guess, because this will be quite a bit different. So when you generate a new Rails project, it comes with a gem file that looks sort of kind of similar to this. And, you know, things aren't explicitly locked down to like, you know, a specific version. We have like, you know, the tilde operator here or whatever. So I built a different run command, which will look at all of these here and actually install the latest versions, but it won't, you know, go above what you have defined here. So like if Rails 7 came out, you know, whatever, it wouldn't update to that. It would just get the latest 6.1 release or, you know, with these versions here. But, you know, these are mainly coming from the Rails new command. So I didn't change that much other than just like adding some new stuff, you know, like turbo Rails, because that's not part of a default yet with 6x. But going back to where we were at before, do I need to update any of these, like, you know, operators that aren't the exact ones, right? I know the word for this, but I can't think of it right now because my brain is melted. But it looks like, yeah, Redis 3.4.3. So is there Redis 1 in here? Yeah. All right, but that should technically get that. Okay. Turbo Rails, though, 5. Yeah, that should get updated also. So when I run this other like new run command we're about to go over. Yeah, I don't think I need to actually update anything in here. So if I do that, but then let me go back to the play one. That's still building, but I'm just building, I'm not running. So I'm safe to run the run command here. Great. Okay. So if I go back to the Rails, or Docker Rails, I should say, there we go. We have a run command here, which is going to be bundle update. So bundle update is going to be, I'll show you right here. It is, wait, oh, I need to run a compose up first, don't I? Yeah, because it's like an exec command, but anyways, that's not important. But if I do bundle update, yeah, it's just basically going to run literally a bundle update inside of the container, and then bundle install. It's going to regenerate the gem lock file out, and yeah, it's going to give us new built-in images that we need. Okay, so before I do that, actually, let me do this here, and then we're going to go back to the Rails directory, and then I'm going to do run bundle update. And now it's going to very quickly do a bundle update here, and then stop things, and then do a bundle install, which will actually do a full like build of the Docker image. So it's just a faster way to update all your dependencies if you have them like, you know, locked like this, where, you know, it's not down to like a specific patch release. But yeah, okay, so the play thing finished here, great. But this is actually going to run a container. Well, I have containers running, I mean. So, I mean, if I go here, right, it's still going to be the Rails app now because I did a compose up here, right? So I can't run this play, or I can't run a Docker compose up in the play directory because I'm going to end up getting competing ports on port 8000. So I'm going to have to wait until this finishes before I can actually test to see if those updates for play actually worked. But I'm going to go and say I have a hunch that they probably might work, and I really hope I'm not wrong, but, you know, I'm just going to do a git add p here to be like, okay, cool, we updated those. So let me go to the changelog file here. And what are we doing? Well, we did some changes, didn't we? So we updated flyawaydb from, what was this one? 7.9. to what? I don't know, 7.10, right? That was an easy one. And then what else are we going to do here? We did update PostgreSQL. Well, see, that's the perfect example of why this should actually just be like a package name, not a, yeah, I'm gonna do it now, because how could you differentiate if that's a package name or the service name? And yes, I see that A there. I'm gonna get to it in a second. Wow, okay, there we go. PostgreSQL. I'm going to delete that word, get rid of this here. Okay, PostgreSQL, update it what? From, I'm going to do the same thing for Flyway, by the way. 42 to 22. Actually, no, 20 was the old. And then 2 is going to be 42 to 22. A lot of 42s and 2s. Yes, okay. There we go. So FlyAwayDB, what is the actual package name for this one? Well, it is going to be Flyway Play. It's like this middle one, I'm pretty sure. And then, yeah, the from stays the same. How are we doing with the Rails one? sorta, kinda almost done. Yeah, I think we're pretty close. But yes, now I've got that set up. If I do get status here, right, I can add P here. I want to add this now. So update Postgres and flyaway, those are all good. Yeah, so now we can do commit, like update Scala dependencies. Nice. And yeah, Scala itself wasn't updated, so I didn't need to like update anything in the README file. So we are done with Rails. Everything is stopped. Everything is good. So let me compose up this one because now we definitely do have, if I do a status here, the gem file lock file is going to be there. And yeah, so let me just make sure this actually all works before I start doing anything else. And then we're going to deal with the front end dependencies after, because there's like Turbo needs to be updated as well as potentially some other stuff, but we will see. And I understand there's a to-do file there that I'll get rid of that. Like that's not meant to be commit, but it's fine to be there because it's just, some notes to me for the future. So yeah, the Rails app here is up and working, cool. But we're not ready to do our full-blown test suite yet because we still need to update the front-end dependencies. I just wanted to make sure that all worked there. But now I can also do a get status here and git add p, the gem file lock file. Yeah, I'm just gonna add all of them because why not? And then we're gonna do update various Ruby dependencies. Oh, we can also check to see if Ruby has a new version. I am running 3.0 here, I think, some variant, 3.01. Yeah, okay, cool. Yep, so I don't think there is a new version of Ruby, but I will check just to be safe. Ruby grep 3, yeah, slim. Yeah, 3.01 is the latest one there. Cool. What am I doing next? Next is going to be front-end dependencies. So package.json, and this starts to get a little annoying because, I mean, it's not annoying, right? It's reality of the situation, but there are a number of things that are way different here than in the other ones. And I don't even know if I can technically update all of these because they sort of all depend on Webpacker. Like Webpacker is an abstraction over Webpack, and it may decide that it wants all of these libraries specifically. So I am very reluctant to go in here and update all of these to the latest version. Typically, I just keep them matched with Webpacker. But if I go back to here, like what actually changed for the Rails app. So Turbo needs to be updated to beta 7. Okay, but we can see the other stuff. Yeah, I'm going to leave them be because also like we're in a state of like Webpacker is still a beta release. So I guess when Rails 7 comes out, then Webpacker 7 or 6 or whatever they're going to name it, I mean, will be available, and I'm going to deal with all of that later. But for now, I'm going to update Turbo Rails to beta 7, as well as this one for Tailwind to be that as well. Was there any other ones though? So Tailwind was that was it. So now what do I need to do? Well, now that I have those files updated, I need to do a run yarn install, and that should give us a new yarn.lock file, and that's going to build and do its thing. Okay, but maybe I can, no, I'm not going to be able to beat that. I was going to say, like, should I just run the play stuff first here so I don't get the port conflict? Actually, yeah, I'm just going to abort that. So do a docker ps, anything running here? Probably, no, okay. Yep, we'll need to definitely blur that out because I just realized this cluster name has some client work in there. So yeah, whoops. Okay, what am I doing? I am doing a Docker Compose up here. I just want to make sure everything still works with all the new backend dependencies here. I hope they do. This takes a little bit to run the play application, but it's not too bad. Like once it's up and running, then if you start making changes to files, then it's very, very fast. So I was actually surprised about this one. Yeah, the Scala ecosystem is pretty good. Like the dev experience was good as well. But now that we have all of this installed here, that looks not good. Well, no, I sort of remember that being like some crazy warning thing. But okay, cool. So it looks like it is running. If I reload, do we have the play application here? That should load any second, and then it's way faster the second time around. We can see there, boom, boom, boom. It's all loading, all good. Now, but does the test suite actually run and pass? Well, that's a good question. Let's see. So we just have run test here because, I mean, I think there may have been like an SBT command for that as well, like where test is a subcommand. I don't know, but I know we wrote our own test runner here. It's probably going to be similar to the Phoenix one, but let's see. No, it's just yeah, a shortcut for SBT test, but that was it. a little bit more convenient, right? But this should run hopefully. And well, actually this test is very good to run because if we go to, I don't know, home controller, is it? I think it's this one. Yeah, our health check actually tests to make sure, it connects to both Postgres and Redis as well. So if this passes, then we know like the Postgres thing is going to work. I'm not really happy about this allowed host filter, host not allowed. Yeah, I can't too deeply get into that one. I remember we had like an application config file and we put like the allowed host in there. Oh, but maybe I don't have my env file updated, but the example env file should have that in there as the allowed hosts. No, okay, it is. So does that mean my env file doesn't have that? No, it does have that. Okay. Yeah, it should be good, I think, but I will have to see. Well, this is taking forever. I don't know why it's taking so long for this to run. Like this should have finished. Oh, yeah, okay. I guess something was funky with the terminal. It just wasn't showing any output for a long time. But here, okay, the warnings, as far as I know, were pretty good. Like basically bottom line is all the tests pass, which is good. Nice. So we are actually in very, very good shape then. So if I do a git status here, do a git log, we should have our Scala dependency updates, front-end updates, as well as updating Redis. And then this one probably doesn't need a new release for that stuff. No, I don't. It doesn't need that. So we do git push origin main, then how are we doing at video? Hour 40 minutes. If you're still here, I very much commend you. But okay. Now, since that is all done, then yeah, it's time to do a Docker Compose build here. This time around, no, what did I actually just change? Front-end dependencies. So run yarn install. And this is going to go off and do its whole thing here. This is going to take quite a while to build. This may be the first time where I actually do need to make a cut because, yeah, you don't want to like watch me ramble for 5 minutes more. But yeah, so let me go back to here and then reload. We should start seeing this to do its thing. I think these typically finish pretty fast. So like if I go to the actions tab here, yeah, they only take about 4 minutes to run. You can see I've done like minor little updates here or there. Basically, yeah, so we worked together on this one. For the initial commit, and then I just did some very minor maintenance stuff here or there. And yeah, this should technically hopefully finish soon. How are we doing with the Rails one? Definitely not going to be ready yet. But yeah, the Flask one, we are done. I wonder if I'm going to be updating a new Rails release here. So let me see the changelog first of all. I guess technically I could start writing the changelog. Well, actually we're almost done, so that's really good. Do I need to make a new release? Probably not. Actually, this fix is pretty good, but it's not quite enough to warrant a new release, but it does save a lot of time. So this actually finished in like almost like just a little bit over a minute, not too bad. But yeah, so what did I do? I just updated front-end dependencies. So let's see if actually everything works. What am I doing? Docker compose up. I just want to see if all the assets load in, because I know Webpacker is very, very picky. It took me quite a while to get all of this set up to be working, but let's see. Reload. Yeah, awesome. Ruby is all good to go. Rails is all good to go. Tailwind, everything is good to go. Nice. Actually, I should have just ran the test suite there as well. So let me rerun that. And then I'll just do a run here. And yeah, it's just the test command, right? It is just a test command. No, it is going to be run Rails test. And this run script, actually, if I jump over to it, there is a condition in here to run the Rails command. Like if it's the first argument is test, then it is going to actually set the Rails env to be test. So unlike the Phoenix example where it had its own select test subcommand, yeah, this one I didn't do that. I guess I could have, but I don't know. I feel like conventions are stronger with Rails where people will just expect to run Rails test. So that's why I added that one here. But yeah, we can see all the tests pass here pretty fast. Everything is all good to go. So there is nothing new to commit here, right? Well, actually, yeah, the front-end dependency stuff. So git add p on this one. Yep, hotwire Rails, Tailwind, and these should be pretty fast. So I'll just yes through them. Yep. Yeah, I said fast, but apparently this is fast. I don't know. I should have just did all, but yeah, okay. So git commit update. I'll have to amend this one with the changelog as well. So update front end dependencies, cool. And then changelog. And what are we doing? Well, we, update Tailwind CSS from 2.1x to 2.22, right? And the other one was Hotwire. So update Hotwire Turbo. If I actually go back to the package.json file, open it below, Turbo Rails it was actually. Yeah. So update Hotwire Turbo Rails to 7.0.0. Wow, this is like a lot of speaking here. And I feel like it's so boring, but okay. Yeah, and that one was also from 7.0.0 beta 5 to this one here. And the other Tailwind one, I believe that was a 2.1.2, wasn't it? If I jump back to here. Yeah, 2.1.2 there to 2.2.2. And then this one also beta 5 to beta 7. And everything else stays the same. So we've got those updates there. Not going to cut a new release for this one, but git status, git add p on the changelog here, update Tailwind CSS to this, to this, to this. Okay, and then git commit amends, no edit. And then I git log, and that should be just the front-end dependencies, right? And all I did there was update Ruby dependencies. Cool. So this one, git push origin main. Are we good? I think we are good. We're good. And then how are we doing with the play one here? Did that all pass? Cool. That all passed. Yes. And then the Rails one just started. That's going to take, 5 or 6 minutes for it to do its thing. And then I think we are pretty good. I think we are. Yeah, this is all pushed and ready to go. This is all ready to go as well. Yeah, this is good. Actually, there's one other thing I should have done, but I'm going to tackle that next time. So it's not that big of a deal, but inside the Phoenix example app, there is an override addition here where, no, it's not merged yet. Okay, so it's like pending a PR for him. So yeah, once in a while, running a Phoenix up, it seems like on just his machine, for whatever reason, things like the assets didn't work. But the commit here to fix it was just to add a depends on in the override file. But I've started to add that to some of the other projects, but I didn't add it to all of them yet. But yeah, I'm just waiting on feedback from him before I merge it. But it's one of those things where it can't hurt to put it in. Like it technically doesn't do any harm, but I'd be curious to see if anyone else has that issue. I mean, he has an M1 Mac. I don't know if that's like the only hardware combination where it happens, but I haven't seen it using all sorts of different devices. But once this passes here, then, well, I guess it's time to, yeah, maybe it's time to add a tweet. So after all that hard work, yeah, now it's time to basically be like, hey, by the way, I did all of these updates. Look at me. No, it's not like that. But if I do, let's see, what should I do? How do I want to word this one? So, I just updated all of my example Docker, compose, like all my example Docker Flask, Django, Rails, Phoenix to use dependencies. This includes them all to use Tailwind 2.2. Maybe I'll get lucky and Adam will see this and he'll retweet it. That would be nice, but would be very unlikely. I just updated all of my example Docker Compose web apps. No, all of my example Docker Compose web apps to use their latest package and service dependencies. That feels like it's worded kind of weird. And the only reason I'm including this in the video because, if you do open source work, like marketing of your stuff is pretty important. So I do spend quite a bit of time on this stuff. Also, I want to what do I want to do? Well, I want to include a link to all the repos, but I don't want to put like 7 different links, right? So what you could do is you can go to your own profile and then I'm going to do a repo tab here and do a search for like Docker star example, and then copy I think that's, well, I'll copy the whole URL. Why not? And then we have a link to all of them here. So this one is an archived one. This one is technically, like, remember how I mentioned that it's on her repository there, but I do have it here, but it's like not the repo itself. It's just a link to hers because, yeah, I just put it here in case people do that type of search. I would like them to be able to find it here. But yeah, these are all ready to go. Let me also just make sure the Rails one passes. Was that the last one? No, it was the Phoenix. It was this one. Yes, to see if this passes. Yeah, awesome. It does. Okay, cool. Yeah, so paste that in there. I just updated all of my example Docker Compose web apps, Flask, Django, Rails, Phoenix, Node, and Play to use their latest package to bump up all of the packages and services to their latest versions. That's also not the best wording. To bump up all of the bump up all packages and services to the latest versions. It's a little bit better. I just updated all of my example Docker Compose web apps to bump up all of, no, that's bad. To bump up, yeah, Jesus Christ. The pressure, like copywriting live is very hard. Like my brain usually is so much better if I write out like 5 variants and then I just like pick and choose the good one. So this actually is like a process for me. So I just updated all of my example Docker Compose web apps to use their latest package and service. I'm just going to roll with that. It's not like 7 service to use their latest package and yeah, all right, fine. To use their latest package and service versions, this includes updating them all to use Tailwind 2. Okay, I think that's good. Yeah, I just updated all of my example, blah, blah, blah. Okay, to use their latest package and service versions. This includes updating them all to use Tailwind 2.2. And then there's a link to that. If someone clicks that, it's going to be able to see all of them. Cool. So fired off that tweet. Then if you were to click that link, then it should just show you an example of all of them there. And that is it. So I understand that was very, 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 very long. 1 hour and like 50 something minutes. But I mean, yeah, so we're talking like 2 hours to do all of that. I mean, to be completely honest, if I weren't recording a video, that would have been probably half the time. But yeah, hopefully that gives you an inside look of like what it's like to maintain a project. With that said, if you have any questions about any of this process, or maybe you see improvements in some of my workflows, please let me know in the comments below. And if you liked the video, it helps a lot. So please give it a thumbs up. And on that note, thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you in the next video.